side. Good morning, good morning, good morning. For those of you that have asked me to go live more frequently, I really apologize. Life has just been busy. But hey, we've got something special going on. We're wrapping up 2020. I think I've got some good lessons that I've learned that others have shared with me because I do not work in a vacuum. It's the end of the quarter / beginning of the quarter. It's our 100th episode, which is really dang cool. And as always, if you're not subscribed on YouTube or you're not subscribed on Stitcher or Spotify or on iTunes, make sure you follow us on all those platforms for future shows. I'm going regular, I'm going live on a semi-regular basis. Probably haven't done it for a month. I get nagged about it too, but I appreciate it because I need a little bit nagging like everybody else. And again, like I said, this is our 100th episode. So I've actually got some shows behind this one queued up, like 101 and 102. I think those ones are already done and edited. And my brilliant content team, Tamara Thompson and those ladies out there, are waiting for me to get the 100th one done because we kind of want to make the 100th one, a little bit special. So that's what we are doing for you, is we are going to make the 100th one a little bit special with maybe covering some lessons. As always, I want you to shoot me some questions over here in the chat. I'm keeping an eye on the comments over here in the chat for you guys to make sure I get your Q&A answered. But again, welcome everyone to the Stop Doing Nothing show with Patrick Allmond. I'm on my second cup of coffee, so I might be a little bit hyperactive. Had a good workout this morning, got a high heart rate, ended up with a severe headache. I don't think it was quite a migraine, as much as I like to call it a migraine. But at the same time, I hear caffeine helps with those things. So I'm more of a natural person. I'm trying to ingest too much ibuprofen or Tylenol. So caffeine is what I'm going to use to fix this headache. And if you've got any amazing, solutions to migraines yourselves, I'd love to hear those. Also, I wanted to share something with you. Oftentimes, this is a little bit more important than I think other people make it out to be, is the fact that I've got some people who, again, have some strong opinions, whether they're political or racial or business or just things they are afraid to voice publicly. And I always make the offer to people that I am not as shy or as conservative or demure as some people. So if you ever want to share something with the world or with me, but you want me to mask your identity or basically say it came from me versus you, or if you just want to get it out, but you don't want to damage your personal reputation or you're afraid of your work job, always feel free to email me or text me at that number. Where are we at right there? Text me at this number right here. This is our business number. And all I'll have is your cell number. And just whenever you have any thoughts like that you don't want to say publicly, you already know you can message me on Facebook, on the business page, on my profile, and I will respond. And we can discuss what you want to get out in the world to make sure that it is heard. Because you know me, I'm all about being transparent. Okay, I've got a list of things here for our 100th show. And again, thanks for watching, for those of you that have tuned in. 100th show here at Stop Doing Nothing. Okay, the first thing I wanted to cover in today's show, and these again are all recent topics that I think I've talked about online that I want to go into a little bit more depth on. And the first one I think is something I put up on Facebook this morning. And this one I said, one of the best ways you can lose weight is to lose the weight of the opinions of people around you. And this goes back to what I just covered earlier, is this is a really, to me, important aspect of being 100% free and 100% transparent with yourself, with the world, with people around you, with people that you are maybe, somewhat fake around, if you know what I'm talking about. It's hard. I'm not going to lie to you. It's hard when we are all severely judged every single day. We're judged on our social media posts. We're judged on our appearance. We're judged on, heck, the type of laptop that we have, the type of coffee that we drink. There are so many things that each of us are judged on every day. How many kids we have, whether or not our kids are screaming, how healthy we are, what we eat, what we put in our mouth. We are a judgmental people. Man, are we judgmental. We are very harsh to each other. We love to make fun of each other. We love to make fun of each other and spread it around. I saw a story online recently about a lady that has a disease. I can't think of what the disease was, but the disease severely alters her appearance. And you may know the story I'm talking about. I think she has some discoloration in one eye. She just generally looks different than everybody else. And there are some parents out there. I really wish I could remember her name. So bad on me for doing this. So she has a generally different appearance than you might say average. And there are some parents out there that are being little shitheads, pardon the transcription, and they are taking this lady's picture and they're using it to scare their kids and saying, this is your teacher this year. And they're showing videos of her and then they're recording the reactions. And that is an asshole of a parent, number one. And it is teaching the kids that, you know what, again, if someone looks different or if someone doesn't meet my personal standards, then they are fearful and I should be afraid of them. And if you know the lady I'm talking about, please definitely share her name. I will go look it later and try to share it in the comments. But I just cannot believe that we are so judgmental of each other sometimes. And I'm 100% guilty of it. As much as I would like to say I'm not, I am right up there with being severely judgmental of people. I go to Costco, I judgment people. I text family and friends and I say, hey, guess what I just saw in Costco and Walmart. And I'm trying to get better about it, but I will admit I'm not perfect because some things just shock me. And so one of the things, though, as a result of us being so judgmental, is we have to come along and remember that people are judging us, but to, you know what, kind of get over it, for lack of a better term. I've completely, and I've told this before for people who ask me about doing live streams, I completely expect to look like an idiot when I walk out the door every day, or when I go live on Facebook, or when I'm out in a coffee shop, or when I'm doing a business presentation. So if I've actually had to get over that fear of looking like a fool, I just assume I'm going to look like a fool. So I guess my summary of this for you is to pay attention to when you're feeling the stress of someone judging you. Pay attention to when you're altering your physiology, to when you're altering your opinion about what you'll say, to basically when you'll back off of a really strong opinion because all of a sudden people are attacking you for it. Pay attention and be aware of when that happens and try to pump the brakes on that. Because more than likely, if you are doing something that is outraging somebody or that is pissing off somebody, you are doing it. First of all, the offense oftentimes, it's not always, oftentimes is on their side. They are the ones that are offended. Sometimes you can be an offensive person, yes. But more often than not, you're just speaking the truth or your truth, and the person on the other end just doesn't know how to handle it, and they want you to transform into their standards. So whenever you see yourself kind of pulling back a little bit, pump the brakes on that, and really remember that, you know what, these opinions really don't matter. Someone's judging you for a couple of seconds and they're going to move on and judge somebody else. And if they don't move on, well, you know what, there's ways to physically block people, and there's ways on social media to block people. So when you have a chance, just try to shed that. Just try to shed the weight, not literally, what was I going to say, just shed the weight of people judging you, because it's going to happen. The other thing, or as I move on to my points, the second point I want to share with you is the fact that I think a lot of us, and again me, we are really tied up and we're so tense and we're forgetting about the fun things in life. This one's a little bit depressing to talk about, but we are so ingrained in these debates we're having online, the political debates, the racial debates, the debates about obviously cops, the debates about technology, the debates about minutia, the debates about the small shit. That's really what it is a lot of us love to debate just small things in this world. And they will drag us down. They'll drag us down for hours and days and weeks and months. And all of a sudden, one of our 50, 60, 70 years is gone with minutia and with small shit. And every now and then we get a reset. And I got a reset last week. a good friend of mine, a client of mine, his daughter passed away, and I went to the funeral last week. And the person giving the eulogy did a great job of reminding us in the audience the importance of living fully and the celebration of life. And of course, you'll see eulogies like that all the time. But this one, the eulogy that was given by this lady, I mean, it was more of a happy event. There was some laughing during the service and all kinds of things. And oftentimes, that's what it takes for someone to turn their life around or to reset, is to look at the how things are finite in the world. Your time here is finite. Some of you may be watching this video and you're going to put down your phone and you're going to drive out of your house and you're going to get in the car and you're going to get T-boned. And I don't say this to be, sad or dramatic, but that is really how fast life can just disappear on us. Some of you are going to get on a plane and might have issues. And I don't say that to be sad. I just say that so you are constantly remembering the important things and the bigger things in life when you're fighting and you're pissing away and you're losing time on the small things, because they really are small things. And so that funeral last week was just a great reminder, and I'm trying to keep talking about it, so I keep reminding myself. And another one was, that was pretty much what I wanted to tell you about the funeral story. So don't wait for a friend's funeral. I'll get to it tomorrow. I'll start my business tomorrow. I'll call Patrick tomorrow. I'll text Bobby or Jimmy or Joe or Rebecca tomorrow. Whenever you're thinking of those things, will you get to it in the future? Because right now, something is more important. I need to watch my TV show right now, and I'll email my buddy later. I know I haven't talked to him for 5 years, but I'll email my buddy later. What's more important right now is I watch this episode of Vanderbilt of Vanderpool Rocks, whatever that show was. Remember those priorities. And at the end, which was more important, that TV show, that cheeseburger, or the health of the important things and paying attention to the people around us? Which one of those is going to be more important there towards the end? Assuming you know when the end is. Oftentimes in this world, we have no idea when the end is. The end is us walking outside and getting hit by a meteor. So please do not forget about living. So important. Something else I wanted to cover with you when it came to, improvement. I'm really big on self-improvement, obviously. I'm not going to say improve yourself. But a topic that I was talking about recently that was really popular online was the importance of our different journeys. I put out things that I'm doing, whether it's, health things, business things, live streaming things we're doing in the house, things I'm doing financially. I put out all these things that I'm doing and maybe how I'm not making progress on some things or how I am making progress on other things. I like to share the journey because to me the journey is important. But I also want you to know to use my journey as lessons and as fodder for your journey, but also remember we are on two separate journeys. So if I share, a big win, my big win is not meant to make you feel like you don't have a big win or like you should be working on the same big wins that Patrick is working on. We are on separate journeys. We really are. I am a certain age, a certain physical stature, a certain weight guy in a CrossFit class. You may be a completely different person when it comes to physical attributes. So if I'm doing something great, don't expect you to have the same skill. And if I'm doing something poorly, don't hold off on doing it because you think you're going to suck at it. We are on two different journeys on this planet, whether it's wealth or starting a business or relationships or physical attributes. We started in two completely different places, you and I. If I told you tomorrow, hey, look, I'm a multi-millionaire and you're my same age or you're younger or you're older, and you're like, well, goodness gracious, why am I not a millionaire? You learn the things at a different pace than I do. You are in a different household, in a different relationship, you have different experience. We are on two separate journeys. So when you're out there watching other people's journeys, Use them as fodder and as inspiration, but try not to get frustrated at your journey compared to their journey, because you are on two completely separate paths. You are going to make progress at different levels, and you're going to fail at different things, and you are going to excel at different things. So that would be the third point I want you to remember today, is my journey is not your journey. And please, please do not compare us, because you will get boastful and vain if you're doing better than me. And if you're not doing as good as me in a particular thing, you will get frustrated and you'll want to quit. We are on two separate journeys. Your journey is not my journey. Write that down someplace. Put that on a sticky note in a cubicle. My journey is not your journey, and my standards do not have to be your standards. This other one is kind of in line with that, but I put this out and it generated some good discussion online. Stop expecting you from other people. In other words, when you put something out, whether it's on social media or you're at a social event, you're discussing something with someone, we have to stop assuming that we are discussing something with someone who is going to have the exact same opinions and ideologies as we are going to have them. Because when we do that, it's very easy for us to get frustrated and generally pissed off at other people. You know, if I'm a conservative person, I put out a particular opinion in a dinner discussion with someone, and all of a sudden someone says, well, you know, I don't believe that. I believe this instead. We are going to go into instant defense mode because we believe that thing strongly. We really do. We believe it into our heart and our soul. And oftentimes we like discussing things only with people who have our shared beliefs and our shared value system. And that is not how the world works. That is not realistic. There is nobody you're going to run into who's going to have the same opinions as you. And more often than not, they're going to be completely opposite opinions, or they're going to be contrarian opinions. Do you know anyone out there who's a contrarian? Yes, you do. You're talking to them. Oftentimes I debate things just because I enjoy the debate, or I really question it if I have a belief or an opinion that is the same as everybody else. You've heard that phrase that, you know, if you're on the side of the majority, you really should rethink your side. Oftentimes, if I'm on the side of the majority of something, I'm like, something may not be right here. Because generally, you know what? Generally, crowds are pretty stupid. You can find smart individuals, but generally, crowds are pretty stupid. And they do stupid things. Don't even get me started on the rioters and the protesters. So when you are putting an opinion out there, when you're discussing something with someone, or when you're starting a new venture, remember that more often than not, you're going to be dealing with people who don't share your opinions. And it's important to remember that, because that's going to improve your communication skills. It's going to get you out of fight or flight mode and maybe make you be more accepting of people, realizing that we all have different experiences and that, you know what, not everyone's going to agree with you, and that's perfectly okay. The really great people that I really enjoy being around are people that have opposing opinions and can have healthy debates about them, not fights and not setting each other's houses and cars and businesses on fire. But the great people to be around are the ones that can say, okay, well, we don't agree on this. Let's either find something we can agree on, or maybe let's take a little piece out of our disagreement and find like a little thing that we can agree on. Those are the peacemakers of the world. Those are the people who can settle big fights and big arguments. And those are the politicians or the activists that are the ones that I can be down with all day long. People that are bridging things rather than people that are tearing things down. And that's why I really don't care if you're a Republican or a Democrat or conservative or Republican or liberal or whatever the other opposite of liberal is. Wait, conservative? Wait, whatever. You know, see, I'm so stupid on those terms, I even get them wrong. That's why those don't matter. The core of the person matters, and their interest in doing great things is what matters. And whatever checkbox you happen to check off when you were getting a driver's license, I just don't really give a crap about that. That's some serious bullshit right there. Okay, and let me see, what else did I want to talk to you about? Because I had a few things here. Oh, yeah, we talked about my journey. We talked about stop expecting you from other people, a very important one. The last one, I kind of wanted to recap here. And as we kind of wrap up the third quarter, is that right? First, second, third. Where are we at here? Oh, I take that back. I said we were at the end of a quarter. I'm sorry, we're not. We're at the end of a month. So we're at the end of August, beginning of September right here. My mistake. So for those of you that caught that in the beginning of the video when I said we were at the end of a quarter, thank you. I apologize for that. So we are so the year is in thirds, so we are done with the second third. We are 2/3 of the way through the year. There we go, Patrick. Remember your fractions. Fractions 101. We are 2/3 of the year. We are 8 out of 12 months done. The last point I want to leave you with today, we've had a rough 2020. We really have, whether it's natural disasters or political BS or, the minor pandemic here and there. We've had some rough shit going on. And you may be tempted to sit back at the end of every day or every week or every month and just think about what a rough year that you've had. And I am not going to downplay that. We have all had rough years and in some cases rough lives. But right now, if you are in a decent place, I want you to take time and remember what your life was like when it wasn't that decent. I can remember what it was like to buy, really cheap food. I can remember what it was like to have next to nothing in a bank account. I know what it's like to be really cold. I can tell you what it's like to be in the middle of a road trip someplace and have a car stranded on the side of the road and not having any idea how I'm going to get back to my start point or to my destination. I can tell you what it's like to be stranded on a business trip because I ran out of money and I have no idea how I'm going to get back to, well, first of all, how I'm going to sneak past the front desk hotel again to get to the elevator so I can get in my room, or how I'm going to basically pay for the next business meal, or the flight home wasn't that big of a deal. But I can remember different points in my life where things were just really shitty. And it's important for you to remember those shitty times for a couple of reasons. Not just to think of how great things are now. That's the easy one. I want you to think about those shitty times because it's going to help you empathize with people that are where you were right now. There are people who are coming up behind us in this world, whether it be business stuff or personal stuff or whatever. And they are struggling. The world isn't rich. A lot of the world lives in pretty severe poverty. And it helps you have empathy if you remember that some people are just struggling with some shit. Mental shit, physiological shit, physical shit, financial shit. We've all got our shit. And I apologize for those of you that have to transcribe this, but that's what it is. We've all got crap going on. And yes, I want you to remember the shit you've been through because I want you to celebrate where you are right now and what you've accomplished. Because I don't know you personally, but I'm going to assume you've done some amazing things. But also remember that there's other people out there in the world that when we can help them, we really should. I'm a capitalist as much as anybody. I think that I should be compensated for my time. I think I should be compensated well for my time. However, there are plenty of times when people need help with things that I will just give away my time, for free. If it's not a day or several hours, I'll gladly do that. And my opinion varies on this over time. And I was reminded of this recently when I was having a technical issue online, a really deep technical issue. We're talking, I really can't remember what it was off the top of my head, but it was pretty deep. And I connected with some people online that helped me solve that. These people had skills well beyond my skills. And they helped me solve that. And I offered to pay them. And the response I got back was, no problem. Glad to help, someone who's learning. And I thought, oftentimes that stuff seems pretty simple. but I was just impressed the fact that somebody that was further along in me in that particular skill was willing to give me their time and not even really worry about getting compensated for it. They are a well-paid professional. They could have very easily charged me a couple $100 for the amount of time I took up, and they didn't. And I can only hope it's because I remembered at some point in time they were at the same skill level I was, and the smallest thing was a big deal to them, and they helped me get over that. So again, remember where you came from. One, because you obviously have to celebrate it, but two, because it will help you have empathy when it comes to the people that are behind you, and you can be a little bit more patient with people, whether it's online, whether it's in person, whether it's in line someplace, and you want to get frustrated with the person in front of you because they're counting out the pennies to pay for a gallon of milk, or somebody who's taking their time at someone because they don't have as strong as a skill level as you are. Understanding that people are not at your skill level, remember, my journey isn't your journey, but understanding that people are not at your skill level will help you be more empathetic and more patience, and have more patience in the world, And trust me, right now, we could use a shit ton of empathy and a lot more patience with each other, because we are not getting along in lots of cases. We are shooting each other, and we are burning each other's houses down, and we are killing each other. And man, that patience and that empathy will go a long way to helping work on those two particular problems. So again, thanks for watching 100th episode. It will be on YouTube, it'll be on iTunes, and of course you better get your butt over there and subscribe to both of them. And right after the 100th episode comes out, we'll be on 101, 102, and before you know it, we'll be on 200, and then 400, then 600, and then we're going to be here when we're on the 1,000th episode, because you got smart and you subscribed. Hey, Sarah, man, congratulations, mama, new mama, and new mama again here pretty soon, right? If I'm not mistaken. Thank you for watching, Sarah. I really do appreciate you. Hopefully that you are happy and healthy. Please say hi to Mr. Becker for me. And hopefully everyone, like I said, everyone in your house is healthy and mentally sane with what's been going on. Thank you, as always, for watching. If this has been useful, please leave your comments below. I always like hearing those. They give me fodder for future discussions. And as always, I appreciate a share, a like, a love, or a reaction, especially the hands up. Whoop, whoop. Thanks for watching the Stop Doing Nothing show, and we will talk to you soon. Everyone, take care.